When people talk about the future of the Linux desktop, the conversation usually circles around familiar names, familiar ideas, and incremental improvements. For years, we've seen desktops evolve slowly, polishing what already exists rather than fundamentally rethinking how a Linux desktop should feel, behave, and scale into the future. That's why the arrival of System76's Cosmic Desktop feels different. This is not just another theme, not just another fork, and not just a rebranding of old concepts. Cosmic represents a deliberate attempt to rethink the Linux desktop from the ground up, using modern technologies, modern design, philosophy, and a very clear vision of where personal computing is heading. It's the culmination of years of experimentation, frustration with limitations, and a desire to build something that truly belongs to Linux, rather than borrowing ideas designed for other platforms. To understand why Cosmic matters so much, you have to understand where it came from. System76 is not just a software company. It's a hardware company deeply invested in Linux. They build laptops, desktops, and servers specifically designed to run Linux well. For years, their POP_OS distribution has been one of the most respected Linux operating systems, especially among developers, engineers, creators, and gamers. POP_OS initially relied on GNOME, heavily customized to better suit productivity workflows, tiling window management, and keyboard-driven navigation. Over time, however, the gap between what System76 wanted and what GNOME could realistically provide kept growing. GNOME has its own strong design philosophy, and while extensions can bend it, they can also break with updates, introduce instability, and create maintenance headaches. System76 eventually reached a point where patching over GNOME's limitations no longer made sense. Instead of fighting upstream design decisions, they decided to build their own desktop environment. This was not a decision made lightly. Creating a full desktop environment is one of the most complex tasks in the Linux ecosystem. It involves window management, compositing panels, settings, theming, accessibility, internationalization, performance tuning, and countless edge cases across hardware configurations. Yet System76 committed to it, and Cosmic is the result of that commitment finally reaching maturity. One of the most revolutionary aspects of Cosmic is the technology stack it's built on. Unlike most traditional Linux desktops written in C or C++, Cosmic is written almost entirely in Rust. This is a massive statement. Rust is a modern systems programming language designed with memory safety, concurrency, and performance in mind. Memory safety alone is a game changer, as it drastically reduces entire classes of bugs that have plagued desktop software for decades. Crashes, memory leaks, and undefined behavior become far less common when the language itself enforces safer patterns. By choosing Rust, System76 is not just chasing a trend. They are future-proofing the desktop. As hardware becomes more parallel and security becomes more critical, Rust's guarantees make Cosmic more robust and easier to maintain long-term. This also sends a powerful signal to the Linux community that modern languages can and should be used for core desktop infrastructure. Cosmic is proving that you don't have to cling to decades-old tooling to build something fast and reliable. Visually, Cosmic immediately feels fresh, but not alien. It doesn't try to shock the user with radical aesthetics or force them into a single workflow. Instead, it offers flexibility as a first-class feature. From the moment you log in, Cosmic feels responsive, smooth, and deliberate. Animations are subtle, but purposeful. Windows move with a sense of physicality that makes the interface feel alive, without being distracting. Everything feels tuned for daily use, rather than for flashy demos. One of COSMIC's defining philosophies is user choice, without chaos. Many desktops claim to be customizable, but customization often comes at the cost of consistency and usability. Cosmic approaches this differently. Layouts, behaviors, and workflows can be adjusted, but the system maintains a coherent design language throughout. Whether you prefer a traditional desktop layout with a panel and dock, a more minimal interface, or a keyboard-driven tiling workflow, Cosmic adapts without making you feel like you're fighting the system. Tiling window management is deeply integrated into Cosmic, not bolted on as an afterthought. This is especially important for developers, engineers, and power users who work with multiple windows constantly. Cosmic allows Windows to automatically tile, snap, and rearrange themselves intelligently, while still making it easy to float windows when needed. The balance between tiling and floating feels natural, and switching between the two is seamless. Keyboard shortcuts are logical, discoverable, and consistent, reducing the learning curve for users who want to become more efficient over time. Multi-monitor support is another area where Cosmic shines. Linux desktops have historically struggled with multi-monitor setups, especially when mixing resolutions, refresh rates, and orientations. Cosmic handles these scenarios with confidence. Each display can have its own layout, scaling, and behavior, making it ideal for modern workstations and laptop dock setups. The experience feels cohesive rather than hacked together, which is something many users will immediately appreciate. Under the hood, Cosmic is built on Wayland, the modern display protocol designed to replace X11. Wayland offers better security, smoother rendering, and improved handling of high DPI displays. While Wayland adoption has been slow and sometimes painful across the Linux ecosystem, Cosmic embraces it fully. This allows System76 to optimize the entire stack, from input handling to compositing, resulting in lower latency and better performance overall. For users, this translates to smoother animations, more reliable input behavior, and fewer strange graphical glitches. The Cosmic Launcher and application management experience are also thoughtfully designed. Searching for apps, files, settings, and commands feels fast and intuitive. Results appear instantly, and the interface stays out of the way. This is especially important for users who rely on search-driven workflows, rather than hunting through menus. Cosmic understands that efficiency is not about removing features, but about making them accessible at the moment you need them. The settings system in Cosmic deserves special attention. Rather than burying options in endless nested menus or scattering configuration across different tools, Cosmic aims to centralize and simplify system configuration. Settings are organized logically, described clearly, and applied immediately. There's a strong emphasis on clarity, which helps both newcomers and experienced users understand what they're changing and why it matters. Performance is another area where Cosmic makes a strong impression. Thanks to its Rust foundation and efficient architecture, the desktop feels lightweight even on modest hardware. System resources are used intelligently, and background processes don't compete unnecessarily with foreground tasks. On high-end machines, Cosmic scales beautifully, taking advantage of powerful GPUs and CPUs to deliver a fluid experience. On lower-end systems, it remains responsive and usable, which is critical for extending the life of older hardware. From a design perspective, Cosmic avoids copying Mac OS or Windows directly. While you can see familiar concepts like docks, panels, and workspaces, they're implemented in ways that feel distinctly Linux. The goal is not to mimic another platform, but to provide a coherent, productive environment that respects Linux's strengths. This approach gives Cosmic its own identity, which is something many desktops struggle to achieve. Accessibility is another important pillar of Cosmic's design. System76 has made a clear effort to ensure that the desktop is usable by people with different needs and abilities. Font scaling, contrast options, keyboard navigation, and screen reader support are treated as core features, rather than optional extras. This commitment helps make Linux more inclusive and usable for a wider audience. For developers, Cosmic is particularly exciting because of its modular architecture. Components are designed to be reusable, extensible, and easier to contribute to. This lowers the barrier for community involvement and encourages experimentation. As more developers explore Cosmic's codebase, we're likely to see a growing ecosystem of extensions, tools, and improvements that build on its foundation rather than working around it. The implications of Cosmic go beyond System76 and Pop_OS. If Cosmic succeeds, it could influence the entire Linux desktop landscape. Other projects may take inspiration from its use of Rust, its integrated tiling approach, or its philosophy of flexibility without fragmentation. In that sense, Cosmic is not just a new desktop environment. It's a statement about what Linux desktops can be when they're designed with long-term vision and modern tools. It's also important to recognize the timing of Cosmic's arrival. As more people work remotely, use multiple devices, and demand reliable performance for creative and technical tasks, the desktop environment becomes more important than ever. Cosmic arrives at a moment when users are increasingly dissatisfied with bloated software. inconsistent interfaces, and systems that prioritize aesthetics over usability. By focusing on performance, clarity, and user control, Cosmic speaks directly to these frustrations. Of course, Cosmic is not perfect, and no desktop ever is. As a relatively new environment, it will continue to evolve, refine its features, and address edge cases. Some applications may still have rough edges under Wayland, and some workflows may require adjustment for long-time users of other desktops. But what sets Cosmic apart is the sense that it has been built with intention. Every design choice feels considered, every feature feels purposeful, and every limitation feels like something that can be addressed, rather than a fundamental flaw. For users who have felt that the Linux desktop world has been stuck in a loop of minor updates and recycled ideas, Cosmic feels refreshing. It offers a glimpse of a future where Linux desktops are not just alternatives to mainstream platforms, but leaders in innovation. It shows that open-source software can be modern, polished, and ambitious, without sacrificing freedom or transparency. In many ways, Cosmic represents System76's belief in Linux as a first-class desktop operating system. It's a declaration that Linux users deserve tools built specifically for their needs, not compromises shaped by legacy decisions. By investing in Cosmic, System76 is investing in a future where Linux desktops are more secure, more performant, and more enjoyable to use. As Cosmic continues to mature, its true impact will be measured not just by features or benchmarks but by how it changes expectations. When users experience a desktop that feels fast, flexible, and thoughtfully designed, they start to demand the same from everything else. That rising bar benefits the entire ecosystem. In the end, Cosmic is more than just a new desktop environment. It's a reimagining of what the Linux desktop can be when modern technology, user-focused design, and long-term vision come together. For anyone who cares about the future of Linux on the desktop, Cosmic is not just something to try. It's something to watch closely, because it may very well change everything.